Welcome to the Momz of Paintball, episode 5. We are so glad you're here with us today. We are currently at the field. As always, it is layout weekend for NXL number 2 in Atlantic City. I'm not going to Atlantic City, but these other ladies are.
Oh,
and
I'm
Crystal,
not going.
well, Crystal's
Your
not
kids are
going, but her kids are going. But
Yeah.
she went last year.
We
She's
did.
going to share some tips and tricks and all the fun stuff.
Tell
Fun
us stuff
the-
about Atlantic City.
Tell us about
Yes.
the venue. Like, what's the venue like?
So the venue is an old airport. The booths and stuff are all on, like, I would say the runway. Really,
Okay.
I think it really
Okay.
is like an old runway,
That tarmac,
but it's
yeah.
all cement.
Nice.
So definitely get some good shoes, walking shoes. I know, like, the kids, when they were out walking all day in their cleats, they were complaining that it was
yeah.
hurting their feet and
Okay.
stuff. So definitely slides
Okay.
or
Something to change.
Crocs
Something
or
comfortable.
whatever,
Okay.
something comfortable for them to walk on.
Yeah.
The surrounding area is not the
That's
best
what I've heard
per
from
se,
some moms.
But there is the beaches right down the road, like
Okay.
5 minutes, 10 minutes. Like it'll be.
Okay.
I think that's what my kids are kind of looking forward to. Well, at least Hadley, she wants to go tan.
Go tan.
Like
she's gonna have time.
She wants to go tan and like hang out at the beach. Like she loves the beach, so she's
Okay.
super excited about it. But really, I mean, but in all reality, at NXL, do we really have a whole lot of time to go like
Do anything.
See,
hanging out
Yeah.
at like places
Dinner
other
is
than
about it.
dinner and
Yeah.
maybe I think at was it Chicago, we did
Chicago.
the escape room with the kids.
Oh,
No,
that's right.
Florida. Florida,
No,
we
that
did
was
the
World
escape
Cup.
room.
That was World Cup.
Oh, that was Cup?
Chicago, we did. You took them to downtown, and y'all looked at all of like
Oh yeah,
the
we did go to. I do
sculptures.
try to go take them. I do try to take them
Get
around,
some-
yeah.
but
Yeah, Tampa was rough. Tampa, we only went to the beach, and we went to the beach at like 9 o'clock at night after everything was done. And they got like 15 minutes, and I was panicking because I was like, "Don't go too
go
far.
too far.
There's
Yeah,
sharks."
sure.
Like,
Yeah.
there's sharks.
I'm not going in the water to save you. Like,
So
stay
we
close.
kind of found that logistically, getting to Atlantic City has been a little bit trickier than Orlando or Tampa.
We were spoiled with Tampa.
Yes,
We were
it was
definitely spoiled.
wonderful. Everything was in like 10 minutes
Yeah.
circle radius
Well,
of
last
the
year it-
airport.
Last year the plane tickets, okay,
Okay.
for AC to fly into Philadelphia was not too bad. Like really, I was like, okay, everybody's like talking about like AC's so expensive, and I was
Yeah.
like, oh, it's really not too bad. But this year, like, I even had to not go to Philadelphia.
So we're flying
Because
into
of it.
Philadelphia and then renting a
weird.
car and driving.
Yeah. That's what we're
Your
doing,
kids
too.
are flying into New
New
York
Yeah.
and then driving 3 hours.
Yes. And then there's no, because everybody, like, there's not really a direct flight into AC. Like, I
Yeah.
only think there's a few airlines that do go into it. And, like, when I was looking for plane tickets into AC, they leave, like, random days. Like, it's not
Yeah.
every
It's
not
day.
consistent.
It's not an everyday, like, in and out, like,
Right.
pumping them out. It's like,
Dallas.
okay, Tuesday we'll fly out at 9 a.m., maybe Friday at
2 p.m.
2 p.m. Yeah.
So it doesn't.
And that's hard. It's not
And yeah,
conducive for
and
the
it's not.
schedule that they have. Yeah.
No.
Yeah. So logistics are different. It's, things that we've had to think about in planning for this particular event.
And so for this event, Kelly and I, our kids wanted to try out staying in an Airbnb. I know y'all did that for Tampa.
Well, Brittany did it.
I did it.
Brittany
I
took
had
some
5 kiddos. I had my kid. Well, I guess not 5.
Yeah.
No, because there was only 4. 4 kiddos. My kid plus 3. But then I had the grandpa and the dad, so it was kind of like
But
more
did
than
they-
that.
We've
they
got
help?
4
They did
Hydra
help.
kids.
Yeah, we have
staying
4
with
Hydra
us.
kids.
I will say we have Sergeant Rob, who
We have Sergeant
the kids
Rob.
are,
And Chase.
and we
We've
and
got
Chase.
2 dads
So we have
with
2
us.
very loud, boisterous fathers that I
Don't
feel,
put
I
up
feel
with
okay
much.
with it.
So
I think they're
they'll
going to
be
crack the
fine.
whip, and there is a bunk room in this one, and so the kids are all excited about that. But
Y'all are getting no sleep.
I'm going to be in bed by 9:30.
Y'all are getting no
So
sleep.
we're getting there earlier on Thursday, and Kelly's flight doesn't come until like 11 or
11.
something.
We
And
will
I
be
was
there
like,
till, like,
I will
11.
see you Friday morning
Oh my
because
God.
I
yes,
will.
we'll be very
I'll
quiet as we come
probably.
in.
You don't even have to
so-
be quiet.
Yeah.
I'll be asleep.
I'm not even gonna hear
Do
you.
you have our earplugs in?
I have my fan going. I won't
Well,
hear
and the kids
anything.
have been pushing this because, you know, they always want to emulate, you know, Paintball FIT.
Well,
They're
and even
pros.
on the weekends when we're here just training.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, can this person stay the night? Or can this person stay the night?
Because they're so
they just
connected.
want to be
So they're
together.
like, why can't we all be together? So, like I said, like they also want to sort of emulate the pros, and they all stay together. So like, why can't we stay together? So we're testing the waters here to see.
I think for us too, with the kids, it's just a little bit harder.
Yeah, because they're kids, they're not adults.
Well, no, to find an
A big enough
Airbnb
spot for
that's
everybody.
gonna have, because you, with like the grown folks, like it's just like them and their girlfriend or spouses or whoever.
Yeah.
But with us, sometimes it's like a whole family. So
Oh, yeah.
then you gotta
That's a lot,
find
'cause
like.
we have, right now we've got 9 staying in this Airbnb total.
And we would need a house that fit like 20 if we tried to put the whole team
Yeah.
in a house, which
Plus-
we did look for in Orlando, but it was just logistically, it was
just crazy.
crazy. So we were like, we'll try again another time. So maybe y'all try
maybe-
it, see how it goes with a
Maybe
few of
we'll
them.
do
Yeah.
Texas. Let's do Texas.
Are we staying at your house?
No.
Here's an Airbnb.
No, no.
That's actually not a bad idea.
No.
I do not like y'all that much.
So yeah, it'll the housing part will be interesting.
Yeah, I think it's going to
so,
be fine. I think
Yeah.
it'll be good.
Yeah.
And honestly, for Atlantic City, we don't have a lot of kids going. It is
Right.
the end of the school year.
Right.
A lot of people are busy trying to wrap up all
Yes.
of that. People trying to get time off work. It is a little bit more expensive, so there
Yeah.
is kind of a budget concern.
Yeah.
So we only have 6 kids going.
Right.
So I
Yeah.
feel like Atlantic City, we have the bulk of the team
Yeah.
is
And
going to be
we-
there, and then
Yeah.
we can easily have the other 2 over for dinners or
Right.
hang out or
Yeah,
whatever.
which we'd like to do.
So-
So yeah.
I think it's going to be good.
Yeah. Yeah. So I mean,
And if it's not, we'll never do it again.
we
It'll be
don't know
interesting.
unless you
It'll be
try.
fun.
So yeah.
Maybe we
exactly.
get like a place with like little houses.
little
Yeah.
cottages.
Little
That would be
cottages.
a
Real
little compound.
Yeah.
Got to find that compound. So we're definitely seeing a trend of youth paintball players migrating to homeschool, online school. We've seen that. I mean, more than 50% of the Hydra Kids team is online/homeschooled. My son will be starting online school in September. So it's interesting, and I've heard of other kiddos around the country that have been online students in the paintball world for quite some time, and more kids are kind of migrating that way. And I know that COVID really kind of opened that door, and people
Yeah.
realized like, oh, it actually this is something we could actually take advantage of. So it's interesting, and I mean, I'll be honest with you. I'll be, my son had to check off a few boxes and work towards earning the opportunity to become an online student. I am really looking forward to the flexibility it's going to give us and the time it's going to give him to, we live in Prosper, which is about it's about an hour north of this field.
Probably more.
Yeah, an hour with no traffic. If there's traffic, it's 2 hours. We are pretty committed. This is how committed we are to paintball for him. We're actually moving to Midlothian and building a house to be down here. But I'm excited for that flexibility and more that time to bring him here more often for the night balls, and I know he's excited to do that.
So our son, he is a freshman in high school. He started in public school in the fall. I had wanted to switch to homeschooling before he ever started high school. I was like, he has 2 older sisters. We have 2 children that are both in college, and they were very plugged in, very active in activities at their school. So our oldest played soccer. Our middle one was in band and Ready, Set, Teach and Special Olympics. So they had something that connected them to the school,
Right.
a group that they were involved in.
Yeah.
And Bo was all in on paintball, and they don't have that.
Yeah.
So I was like, if you wanted to do homeschooling, that adds an extra flexibility there.
Right.
Gives you time for all these travel, for all the tournaments.
Right.
You don't have to worry about the truancy letters.
Right.
And he was like, no, I think I want to go to public school. I want to have that high
Get
school
that experience.
experience, go to the football games, see what it's all about.
Yeah.
And I think he got to high school and realized, okay, this
Yeah.
is not much different than middle school. And he
Yeah.
didn't go to any of the football
Yeah.
games because we were at paintball. So, and then in October, we kind of transitioned to the Hydra Kids team. And we live in College Station, so we're at a good 3
That's
hours
a big commute.
Yeah.
from the field. So
Yeah.
we drive up on Friday afternoons, and we don't get back home until about 8 o'clock on Sunday evenings.
Yeah.
And after doing that for a few weekends, he was like, I'm exhausted.
Yeah.
We would pick him up from school at 3 o'clock on Friday,
Oh.
and then get back. We would come straight to the field,
Right.
and then we would get home at 8 o'clock on Sunday, and then he's up at 6 o'clock on Monday morning
It's a
to get ready
lot.
for school. And he was like, I think you're right. I think you're right. Actually, his cousin talked him into it. He was
really?
like, why would you not
Yeah.
homeschool? And he
Yeah.
was like, oh, you think that's cool? Okay. So during Christmas break, actually, he's like, hey, Mom, I think I want to switch to homeschool. So we switched, and we're doing an online program.
And he's thriving. He loves it, right?
Yeah, he really enjoys it.
Yeah.
He is able to get his schoolwork done a lot faster because you kind of cut out all
that
of
busy
the
work is
fluff.
gone,
And, yeah, so it takes him, 2-3 hours a day.
So can he do it like in the car, or
No.
he can't do it? He has to have like a regular.
He could, but his personality type, I don't think he would focus enough to
on
do it.
to-
So, for instance, this week, since it is layout drop week, my husband brought him up here on Wednesday, and my husband is able to work remote, so he worked from the hotel, dropped Bo off at the field so he could train. And I just marked on our school schedule, I'm like, he is not doing school Thursday, Friday. He could have done some from the hotel, but I don't think his personality, he would have been able to focus and sit there.
Yeah, I mean, I get
and
it.
done.
Just like if I could take my work to
Right.
Tampa or ACI, I'm not going to want to be.
And it's like the
Exactly.
program that you use, and I'm familiar with a lot of them because of our daughter
You've
being in
done it.
online school for 4 years. But it's cool because you can block off days where he's going to be at a tournament, or he's going to be here or whatever, and then the work schedule just adjusts
It does.
accordingly.
Yeah.
So that's
So I
he's
like
not
right now
on
I
his
have
own.
it set up for May 30th is our last day of school.
Right.
And so if I already know tomorrow he's going to be exhausted.
Right.
He's been here for 5 days going. So I've already said tomorrow is not a school day.
Right.
So it adjusts based on, so if I decided, oh, you know what, you're really not that tired, you can do school tomorrow, then
Yeah.
it'll recalculate
It'll
the
recalculate,
lessons
yeah,
and
yeah.
adjust for that.
I wish our program had that. My program does not have that at all.
You have certain stuff you have to get done on a certain timeline.
Yeah,
or-
it's just 5 days a week,
Okay.
and they have certain, like I could change about like how many, they call them steps, but how many lessons they do a day. To like, okay, they can do 2 lessons a day for 6 classes or whatever, to see how fast we can get it. But there's no like, okay, I want to be done on this day, and then it equals
calculate it out
yeah.
for me.
Yeah.
That's nice.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah.
And then like with my kiddo, he begged for a long time to get homeschooled, and that was just not the choice for our family. I work full time, my husband works full time, we can't work remote, and I didn't want to have to deal with the normal teenager getting home from work, and then I didn't do my work, and then I'm having to deal with arguing with him, or not arguing, but micromanaging
It
him.
is a lot.
And then with him, he's a freshman. He's going to be a sophomore next year, and he is really thriving at high school, and like kind of like your older two, is super involved in a lot of things. He did band in the fall. He actually made varsity baseball this semester, so he did that. It gives him something to do during the week because like y'all, we're really far, but the difference is we don't work from home, so I can't just be like, okay, I'm going to take you down on a Wednesday for layout weekend if we were homeschooling. So, and he has opportunity and got the opportunity to do the welding school, so he will be leaving high school with more than just a high school diploma, which was kind of important to me with the way the economy is and the world today. So as much as he begs, he's not going to be homeschooling.
It's not for everybody.
It's not.
It's definitely not for everybody. But I would be curious, just because I've seen and talked to other moms and seen online how a lot of paintball kids are moving towards online, and I'd be curious, maybe in the comments, I'd be curious to hear from other moms who have made the transition or are considering the transition, and just out of curiosity, how is this, evolving?
How's it going?
Because like you said, right now we have a little over half our team and then 2 more
Yeah.
in the fall that
Yeah.
will be switching over.
Yeah.
So.
So how do y'all deal with not busting the public school allowed time off?
Well, I say with paintball, it works really well. I mean, I did get a little worried there this year, and actually now I'm thinking about it more. We were kind of talking about it before we started recording. Paintball typically runs January to November, or February to November for the national tournaments, and it's kind of nice because your attendance restarts in August, but you have to go August all the way to November, which is when it kind of got hairy of like, oh, we're going to run out of
Days.
we're going to run out of days. And I'm pretty sure we did run out of days, but I haven't gotten we call them nasty grams, all the moms in our district. I haven't gotten a nasty gram yet. I do get the phone calls, but
Because
it'll
it really
be
doesn't
interesting.
leave you much time for any other absence.
No,
It
no, and
doesn't,
we
yeah.
unfortunately had 2 deaths in our family this year, so we had to take off time for that because they were out of town, and so it can be quite tricky.
It's
You know,
a
it's
juggling
kind of
act.
unfortunate because school sports like football, baseball, soccer, whatever, you're UIL'd out. It doesn't count
Oh,
against
yeah, I
you.
can't tell
You
you
can miss so much.
How many days he's missed? Baseball started in really picked up in March for pre-district, and then district hit, and I can't tell you how many days he was like, I'd get the phone call because it takes time to adjust it in their system of your kid was absent for 6 periods today or whatever because they pulled him early for baseball because they had a 3-day tournament and he missed 3 days of school, and it's just finding a way to get paintball recognized as a sport, because I've heard there are districts in this area that have done that. So if you can prove that there was a tournament on this day, then they clear the absence like they would for a sport.
That's nice.
But I think that's going to take
That's going to take time.
it's going to take a lot of work
Yeah.
and a lot of time and a lot more time and work, I think, than I have to have the ability to do within 3 years.
Well, and here, I guess there's more. Paintball is more common. There are more of them, but
in Killeen, there's not even a field. We
Right.
don't even have a paintball field.
Right.
Most of his friends are like, you mean like the game you go play when you go to parties?
Yeah.
And he's like,
You're
yes,
in the woods?
but no.
You're a competitive
Yeah.
sports
There's
party
one
player.
other.
Yeah.
There's one other kid that actually he plays baseball with that plays airsoft, and they're always trying to get each other to like, hey, you should come play paintball, and he's like, hey, you should come play airsoft. So
Yeah.
hopefully we can get him out here this summer. But
I know that with my kiddo for Atlantic City, we're going to be over. We're going to be over the allotted number of days. And I guess I'll be honest, because I know he's going to be an online student after, in September. Send me the letter.
You're like, I don't care.
I don't really care.
I will say I'm a teacher. So,
I don't care.
so I kind of know the back end of that. And honestly, like if you're not a habitually absent student, I mean, I'm talking 30, 45 days, they really don't do much, but it's still a worry as a parent.
yeah,
you don't want to get the
you wanna
letter.
be
You don't want to
mindful
be
of it.
You don't want to
that
get them
parent.
into the habit of just not going
Yes.
to school.
Yeah.
Because unfortunately, in real life, you have to work.
Yeah.
You don't get to
Yes.
just not go to work
Yeah.
if you want to eat and pay your bills.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So we're kind of talking about school, and school's winding down for almost everybody. Summer is upon us, and which summer is interesting for paintball kiddos, and I think particularly this summer with our kids and the team that they play on. I believe there is a bit of an expectation from the coaches and from the Paintball FIT community that they're going to see their faces here a lot more. And so summer schedule becomes interesting. For me, my husband and I have a senior getting ready to go off to college in Illinois. So I'm looking at August going, well, that's going to be a busy month for me, but I know my son, all he's going to want to do is be here. We've got some family trips happening, which he's digging his heels in, of course, because he wants to be here. But I'm curious I think I know what your summer looks like. I know what your summer looks like, but good conversation to have, and interesting to kind of hear, what do paintball kids at this level do in the summer?
I think it's going to be tricky for us because we live so far, and getting him here, I always joke, and I'm joking, but I'm kind of not, where I'm like, my kid's going to come live with you during the summer. I'll send him with some Venmo money for food. Like, we got another dad on the team that's closer to the field, and I'm like, he might be staying with you for a few days, but it is a concern of like the distance and not. And
it gets tiring.
It does get tiring.
yeah.
I will say that is the hardest part, and then it gets tiring not being in, and you can relate to this, not being in your own bed and not being home and knowing like I got to go home and make sure the laundry's done, and
I know how that feels.
it's exhausting, and it's a part of me is like, I love that he's 15 and I don't want him to grow up. But another part of me is like, I can't wait till you're 18 because I'm definitely not letting him drive here when he's 16.
No.
He thinks he's going to.
Yes, they
You're
all
not,
think they're
mister.
going to.
No, they're
You're
not.
not.
There's too many
You're watching
highways.
this.
No.
But there's you got to go through Waco. It's just, it's too much.
Yeah.
But there's the other part of me is that I can't wait till he's 18 and can drive himself. But then it's a mix
But then
of
it's
emotions.
just a different kind of worry.
Yeah.
Of
Of
another
course.
I can tell you how many nights I sat at home. I was after marching band. I'm like, great, she can drive now. I don't have to stay up until 2 in the morning.
But then
to
you're
do
staying
bus.
until 2 in the
Yeah.
And I'm
morning
still
anyway.
awake, tracking her on
Yes.
my phone. Like,
Yes.
where are they at?
Yeah.
Where's she at? Is
Yes.
she almost home?
Yeah.
So.
I guess for us, just to kind of give a little background of our level of commitment to this sport, we live up in Prosper, which can sometimes be a 2-hour drive away depending on traffic. And with our daughter going off to college, now we only have one sport to be dealing with. So my husband and I have decided to move 10 minutes away from the field. So we're actually in the process of designing a house and building a house. But that's not, we're not going to be in this house for at least another 8 months or so. So it's still... it's like, yeah, I would love to drop you off here, and and the coaches would love to have them here the entire week. But then what do we do? Because none of us live here, and so
We live 3 hours away.
yeah,
We're in College Station, and so we, driving up every weekend. So
Yeah.
he won't be here during the week.
right,
No.
yeah,
He can be here on Fridays.
Yeah.
Until
Yeah.
And the
Sunday.
hotels get expensive. I mean, even though like us, I'm gonna be real honest, we stay in like motels. They're kind of shady. They're not, but to me, I just remind myself like I'm literally only sleeping here sometimes for 6
yeah,
hours.
you're never
Yeah.
there.
Not even.
I'm like
So
not
something
even,
like that.
Yeah.
and so I'm
Yeah.
like, but I'm like $75 a night. It adds, and I mean, we end up. If
Then
we
you
would
have
have
to eat
stayed,
and
you have to eat,
gas
and,
money,
yes,
paint.
and then paint.
Yeah.
It's challenging. I do it because then I always, another joke, but I'm kind of serious. I always joke like, I'm going to be paying for it now or paying for it later. Like it's something positive my kid can do and be around people his age and be around great mentors and great people that are helping him grow to become the person that he's going to be one day. Or I can pay for it later in front of a judge. And everybody always laughs, but it's like really, it's true and it's serious. And I just want to see him be successful. And if this is a stepping stone to help him get there and he can make something out of himself doing it or take it further.
It's worth the sacrifice.
Yeah,
totally
it's worth the sacrifice.
So I feel like getting ready for Tampa, there was a lot of like excitement and energy because they had that little break
Yes.
after Cup. But,
Yeah.
it was kind of like some downtime. They were still practicing, but there was no actual tournament.
We had parties.
Yeah,
it was more
this is
fun.
A little
fun.
bit more laid back. And then everybody was amped and ready to go to Tampa. And now it's like we're in the grind
we're in the
part
thick
of
of
the
it now.
season.
Tournaments every week.
And it's getting hot
Yeah.
in Texas. So we were just talking about the schedule. We're like, when do we, whenever NXL comes to Texas, it's going to be September. It's
Yeah.
going to be hot.
It's gonna be really
Like,
hot. Yeah,
I feel like we are definitely in that grind
Yeah,
portion
we are.
of the season.
We've just started it. But yeah, we're
Uh-huh.
definitely into it now.
Well, like I was looking, we were talking about Ohio, and I'm like, no, it's not until July. And my kids were like, no, Mom, it's in
coming
June.
up.
It's
And
in
I was
June,
like, what do
yeah.
you mean it's in June? I need to start buying plane tickets now. Like
Yeah.
what?
Yeah.
We're still trying to get to AC.
Right.
Like,
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Time
Yeah.
out. Like,
haven't even
Well,
made
and
it
with our
there yet.
kids playing NXL, USXBL, XTPL,
Yeah,
it's
it's a
like
lot.
there might be one weekend a month that they are not playing a tournament.
but
But
then
they're
there's-
practicing.
But then they're
But they're
practicing.
practicing.
So
or
it's
there's a
not-
7-man or like a Mac.
Or there's
or,
a Super 7
There's
or
always
night ball or
something,
mix. So
yeah, exactly.
yeah,
Exactly.
they're pushing now.
It's definitely like it's weird because I feel like we go, we're in the grind, and then our last like regular season, as I would call it, tournament is September. So then we have September, October, and then Cup.
November,
So we
World
get
Cup.
like kind
Just
of
a
a
little
breather,
break.
and then Cup happens, and then we get a little bit of a breather, and then by February we're back at it again.
But then in reality, after Cup and we have that little bit of break, now everybody's like, okay, well, are we playing? Like, what are we doing?
Yeah,
They get
oh,
like-
and
they
get
antsy.
antsy about
Yes.
like
Yeah.
why? What do you mean we're not practicing right
What
now?
do you
Like,
mean I don't have to go to
what, I
Waxahachie
can't?
this weekend? And I'm like, no, you don't have to go, and I'm not taking you because I want to
and
sleep in my bed.
I'm going to say it's not just the kids either.
Yeah, it's the
It's
parents.
the parents
Yeah,
that are
yeah.
also like,
Well, and I'll throw it out here to get us another question. Like, I would be super curious to learn about or hear about how other parents sort of plan out their schedule, with their kids that are playing at this level. You know, how do you plan it all out in advance, or you just kind of go month by
Like
month?
I know
and
our
month by
coaches
month?
have said these are the events we're gonna
Yeah.
play.
Yeah.
We would love to have everybody available, but
Right.
understand that there are
Yeah.
like budget concerns, availability,
Timing.
time off.
Yeah.
Like if you can't make all of them,
Yeah.
but we knew in
Definitely pausing.
I'm done with today. I'm done with today, people.
there is our producer.
Producer.
We cannot film over here anymore. He gets too distracted by the field.
Okay, let's wrap it up.
So it's been a very eventful day, guys.
It has.
Yes, it has. It's always a
Sorry.
party out here at FIT.
So sorry.
This is the fun part of doing live podcasts.
Sure. So, I think we had a good discussion.
Yes.
We're excited
Yeah.
for Atlantic City.
Yeah, we wish everybody safe travels.
Yes.
Everyone who's going to Atlantic City, safe travels. Get there safe.
Good luck
If
to
you
your
see
team.
these two, say hi.
Probably
Yeah,
in the
you can
VIP.
Yes.
We will be in the VIP
Yes.
tent, so if you're in there,
Yeah.
come
See
say
us, come
hi.
over, give us comments on our show, and
Yeah.
we're probably gonna wrap it up right now because it's getting really windy. And again, all the pluses of doing our podcast here live
Yeah.
like this, but we don't want our tent to blow away and
Again.
get onto the
Again.
field. And so
But we do want to thank our sponsors
Yes.
before we close out. So, of course, Paintball FIT, Hydra FIT, the Lucal family. They are so great to let us use their facilities
Yep.
and for everything they do for us and their kids, our
Yep.
kids.
Yeah.
We just really, really appreciate
shout
that.
out to Robert Jordan as always. We appreciate you very much. Again, I don't think we would have done this without your support in the very beginning. So shout out to Robert. Yeah.
And if you have any questions, pop them down in the comments below.
And we'll see y'all next time.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.